Support for Steppin Out comes in part from the Kristovich family in honor of Mary Lou and Bill Kristovich. This program is sponsored in part by the Eugenie and Joseph Jones Family Foundation, a local foundation proud to support the arts and culture in the greater New Orleans area.
Good evening, I'm Peggy Scott Laborde and welcome to Steppin Out, spotlighting the New Orleans area's arts and entertainment scene. Seated at our table tonight, Banu Gibson, singer, banjo player, but these days director of the Cole Porter Tribute at the BB's Stage Door Canteen at the National World War II Museum. So great to see you again.
Oh,
hello,
nice to
my
be
dear.
with you.
Hi. And we'll also have a scene from the show a little later. Poppy Tucker, host of the radio program Louisiana Eats, airing twice weekly on WWNO Radio. Hello, Miss Poppy.
Hi, Peg.
Glad to have her back again. Tracee Dundas, professional stylist and founder of New Orleans Fashion Week, here to give us the scoop on this week's festivities. Welcome back. Nice to see you. And Alan Smason of Crescent City Jewish News and theatercriticism.com. Hello, Mr.
Glad
Alan.
to be back.
But first off, Miss Poppy.
It's festival time, you know, fall comes and that's what happens. And the Fried Chicken Festival actually started today. They added a day this year. So if anybody's hungry for fried chicken, you can run down to Waldenberg Park after the show until 9 o'clock tonight. And then tomorrow, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Sunday, 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. Now, they have two upgrade experiences this year. The Chandon Bottomless Bubbly Lounge, that's pretty luxe, and that's an add-on of $75. But new this year is the Crown Royal Lounge, and it's just $35, and 3 drinks and something yummy to eat, and a place to go sit and chill. Now, about this fried chicken. Now, last year, Blue Oak Barbecue surprised everybody with their winning fried chicken sandwich. Now, this year, I want to point out, everybody who goes, say hello to my friend Chef Carl from the Roosevelt Hotel, because he's famous for his fried chicken. He's very proud of it. And finally, this year, the Roosevelt Hotel got him into the competition. So I'm very excited for Carl. Also, there'll be chicken from District Donuts, Fiorella's. Then I love this. We Dat Chicken will be there, but also Her Dat Chicken will be there. So I'll be all kind of Dat Chicken. And then my mama's House of Cornbread Chicken and Waffles will be there. All sorts of places that maybe it's going to be fabulous. It's going to be fried chicken. Who doesn't like it? There's also desserts and other things to eat there too. On to more fun festivals. It's the St. Tammany Crab Festival. Tomorrow and Sunday from 11 a.m. until 11 p.m. at Heritage Park in Slidell. So, of course, there's crabs every which way and other Gulf seafood delicacies. There's an incredible music lineup. It's almost more of a music festival than a food festival. I understand that Mr. Crab's Car Show will be featuring classic cars, trucks, rat rods, not sure what that is, motorcycles, and more. But this is my favorite part. Captain Dave of Cat's Meow Fishing Charters will take passengers on his boat for a scenic tour of Bayou Bonfouca. When was the last time you got an offer like that?
It's been a while.
All for just $20. And then this is on a completely different topic, but I really wanted to send a shout out to our friends down at Antoine's. Next Friday for lunch, I suggest everybody grab a ticket to their French Wine Follies. It starts at noon. The menu is delicious. This is typical of how Lisa Blunt and her husband Rick are really keeping Antoine's in the forefront of what's fun and new and current. And these lunches that Lisa's hosting are just incredible. So next Friday, it's citrus and tarragon shrimp salad, chicken cordon bleu, creme brulee, and then check this, bottomless French wines, red, white, and rosé, for just $49.
Wow.
At Antoine's. It's going to be fabulous, so go.
That word bottomless. Yes.
Bottomless French wine.
Thank you, Bobby. And moving on to Tracee, congratulations.
Oh,
So,
thank you.
how many years?
So we are in our 8th year, the 9th season of New Orleans Fashion Week, and I like to say it's been a labor of love.
Because it has.
It has. So our week will start on Sunday, September 22nd, and we go for one complete week until the 28th. And so we have a number of standalone events that will take place earlier in the week, and then we build up a culmination to the runway fashion shows, which will be at the Board of Trade. Early on in the week, we will start off on Monday, we'll be at Louisiana State Museum, and I'm really excited to partner with them for their Grand Glam. And it is all about just carnival costuming and the gowns and just, you know, just honoring what our city's about. So, and I love the fact that Louisiana State Museum approached New Orleans Fashion Week and recognizes that fashion is just important to their brand as well. Then on Tuesday, we're going to do a sip and shop. Speaking of wine, there'll be lots of wines and such, but it's also called Shoes Day Tuesday. You get that? Shoes Day Tuesday. And so that's going to be at Canal Place, and we want everybody to come out, and the proceeds for that particular event will be given to Dress for Success. So we're always about giving back a little bit as much as we can. Really happy to be partnered with Canal Place and as well as St. Charles Avenue Magazine, and that will be up from 5 to 7 on Tuesday.
Now, in terms of the audience, we have, of course, you are showcasing new designers,
Yes.
but it's for everybody. I mean, it's folks in the trade, I guess, but also, I mean, if somebody's just interested in what's up with fashion, anybody can go, right?
Absolutely.
I'm just making that clear.
Yes, the runway shows, which will be at the Board of Trade, which each evening will showcase approximately 15 designers from throughout the Gulf Coast region, and it is open to the general public. We want our local boutique owners to be there too, and of course the media. But what I enjoy is that you get to see the talents of and the fabric of our city, and I'm always amazed at what these designers come up with in terms of the originality and the bold elements they may add to their designs. I have one designer who actually is integrating handcuffs. I thought that would make you pause.
Interesting choice.
Excuse me,
Yes,
pause.
I think that's worthy of coming out and seeing what it's all about.
Okay. Congratulations once again, the website for more info.
Yes, NewOrleansFashionWeek.com. And
Very good. Thank you. Congrats.
An arresting show by all means.
All right, good. That's great, Alan. Very good. And New Orleans Magazine's quiz queen, Julia Street, has a question for us. Last time, John Suter gave us the nickname of two teams that Saints quarterback Drew Brees played for, his college team at Purdue and his first NFL team, Purdue Boilermakers and San Diego Chargers, of course. And we wish Mr. Brees well, of course. And now tonight's question. This classic restaurant on St. Louis Street is known for a fish dish that involves a paper bag and a dessert named after a state. What's the name of the restaurant, and name the two dishes? Email your answers to Steppin Out at WYES.org. Our prizes: a year's subscription to Louisiana Life magazine, a dish towel with the message "Love is crawfish." I do agree, by the way, from our friends of WearableVegetables.com, and a pair of free admission passes to either the Audubon Zoo, Aquarium of the Americas, or the Butterfly Garden and Insectarium. Speaking of the aquarium, they're hosting their Scales and Ales fundraiser on Friday, October 4th. Beer, cocktails, and cuisine from 50 local restaurants all within the aquarium on the New Orleans riverfront. Must be 21 and over to attend. Tickets are $65 for members, $75 for general admission. Go to events/AudubonInstitute.org/scales to purchase. And you can go to WYES.org/steppinout for our online calendar, including the New Orleans Improv Festival, taking place September 27th through 29th at the Always Lounge and Cabaret on St. Claude Avenue. For a full schedule, go to twofriendsimprovtheater.com. Also, even though Kitchen Witch cookbooks may have closed their actual space, they are selling online their books and spices. We have info on that on our calendar page as well. You can link to WYES's YouTube channel to see our program. And now, Banu. And I know this is a project, talk about a labor of love.
Oh,
Mr.
absolutely.
Cole Porter
Yes.
tribute, huh?
It was so much fun. A bit of hubris. I ended up writing the script, directing it, choreographing it, sharing the musical direction with Harry Marone. And, you know, if somebody goes down, I'm on.
Banu, tell us about, though, the framework, because I think this is really very innovative.
Well, what was interesting is, like, after I finished directing Dames at Sea, I pitched the idea to Erica Jensen, who is now running that section of the museum, about doing a songbook series. And it seemed like a perfect handshake. And she told the museum, and they liked the idea. So she picked Cole Porter, perfect choice for the first composer to come out of the gate. And she said, but we don't want an info musical. She didn't want to, like, Cole Porter was born. And so when we had a little meeting together, came up with the fun idea of making it take place on the day that Cole Porter died in Peru, Indiana, where he was born. And they're tasked, one of the newspaper men, with writing his obit in 1 hour and 25 minutes, which is how long the show takes place. And so as the newspaper person types up all the information, it comes to life on stage. So it's an interesting combination of how you get information without being kind of like boring, and then also get to see wonderful songs.
Absolutely. Well, actually, we have a clip, and we'll talk some more about it after. But first of all, we'll have a clip from It's Too Darn Hot with the cast right at BB's Stage Door Canteen. Let's take a look. Once again, the Cole Porter tribute will run through September 29th at BB's Stage Door Canteen at the World War II Museum. Go to stagedoorcanteen.org for exact schedule and tickets. And Banu, what I like is that you have, of course, lots of the most famous songs by Mr. Porter, but you put in a few gems that maybe aren't as well known, but equally fine
Should
and
be
worthy.
known more.
Yeah, they should. I love that you did, though, and this, of course, is a well-known one, My Heart Belongs to Daddy.
Yes.
Woo.
Yeah, it's
Little fun.
kind of fun because Mary Martin introduced that song, and it has a kind of a little a striptease that goes along, and you realize that Mary Martin started off stripteasing on her first Broadway show and ended up a little boy in Peter Pan, and then a virgin in Sound of Music. Very gender fluidity, I think we could say, for Mary Martin.
Now, this weekend's performance is on, the next one is Sunday. So
That's right. We have a
Sunday.
matinee on Sunday,
Right.
and then the following Sunday is our last matinee. By the way, it's too darn hot, apropos for today and what's going on with all of the climate protesting going on, right?
Yes,
So,
yes.
so-
And next week you have some nighttime performances too, or
we have next Friday, yes.
Friday? Okay, yeah. So whatever works. And people can do the dinner. They can also do dinner
Right.
and a show too.
Really good food.
It's a nice setup.
Yeah.
It really is such a pleasant setup. But choosing all those songs, did you do that?
Yes.
Wow. And Harry, oh my gosh.
Harry, we joke between ourselves that we are two bodies but one mind. We are just so on the same page about all things artistic decisions, and it's so much fun to work with him. it's like finishing each other's artistic sentences.
And those lyrics never get old.
No, you hear people that laugh in the audience that haven't heard like Brush Up Your Shakespeare before.
Yes, which is one of the songs.
Yes,
I'm so
which
glad.
is great.
Flying too high with
Some
guy
guy
in the sky is my idea.
Nothing to do.
Oh,
Internal
man,
rhymes.
just
Thank
not
you,
yet.
Cole Porter.
Yes, thank you. And you even mentioned that, which I'm glad you point that
we
out.
try to put in a little bit of those fun inside nuances. And who else is going to make a rhyme in Brush Up Your Shakespeare with Coriolanus?
That's right.
Right.
Thank you, Banu. It's great to have you. And now it is time for our Artist Spotlight. Tonight we are featuring two artists, Chalice Walker Calandria and Juan Jose Calandria. And this is, what a wonderful picture of them. Oh, what a very dynamic couple. And we have a giclée of Chalice's King Oliver's Jazz Band at Muhlenberg. The original was once owned by trumpeter Al Hurt. It is now part of the permanent collection at the Ogden Museum of Southern Art. And we have a giclée of Juan Jose Calandria's Herman the Fish, inspired by an elusive and legendary local fish that he caught in Kill, Mississippi. Their artworks will be on view this Sunday, at the Mississippi Christ Episcopal Church in Bay St. Louis. The event starts at 4 o'clock, and the Stephen Harper Trio will be performing in a free concert. For more information on the Calandrias and their artwork, which will be available, 504-300-8166. And now, Alan.
Well, it seems hard to believe it's been more than a decade since Tracy Letts won his Pulitzer Prize for Drama for August Osage County, as well as a Tony Award for Best Play and a Drama Desk Award as well. Almost incredulous is the fact that it took this long to come to New Orleans. But according to Amy Hayes, who's the artistic producing director at Southern Rep, the reason why is very simple. They lacked the performing space to be able to put it on. It required 3 floors of a stage, a scenic design, and the new performing space, of course, at St. Rose de Lima more than accommodated that. It's a 3-act play with a very highly dysfunctional family coming together when their father, Beverly, played by Thomas Francis Murphy in the prologue, disappears. And that's how we learn about how his wife, Violet, played by Ellen Barry, and their 3 daughters, Barbara, Karen, and Ivy, are all coming together as a family during this crisis. Now, as Violet, Ellen Barry, who is an out-of-towner, new to New Orleans, is an incredibly gifted actor. She balances her characters, many multiple layers, if you will, very brilliantly. She's sometimes psychotic, mean-spirited, uncaring, and abusive, while at other times she's calm, sweet-natured, intuitive, and protective. So you can kind of get a gamut of all the different emotions that run with her. She says in one scene, "My mama was a mean, nasty old woman. I suppose that's where I get it." Now, Barry's Violet serves as a perfect foil to Amy Hayes' character of Barbara. She's one of the 3 sisters. Hayes is the one sister with the strength and the tenacity to fight her mother head on, but as she moves in, she finds that her world is about to spin out of control as well. She delivers a powerful performance as Barbara, nuanced and understated at times as well, and then other times just straight physicality with her other cast members. Barbara's keeping a secret away from her mother, and it turns out that the other sisters are keeping some deep, dark secrets as well. The other 2 sisters are played by Mandy Zirkenbach as Ivy and Jenny Merson as Karen. Also, their aunt, played by Laura Grice, is on the scene as well, and she has a dark secret as well. This is all directed by Jason Kirkpatrick. The production is one of the best I've ever seen to grace the boards at Southern Rep. The performance is all noteworthy. Let me just mention some of the other people you haven't seen in a long time. Nick Thompson, remember him? Lance Nichols, of course, who we saw in a number of other productions, but he's back. John Neisler, Raina Houston, a newcomer to New Orleans, and Ilyanette Barnabel, who plays sort of a cook and caretaker. Kudos also to David Raffel for that magnificent set, and Joshua Courtney for the lighting. You'll find at times it's very dark. It's very difficult to get dark lighting a lot of times in a house like that. And also terrific sound design by Brendan Connolly. August Osage County will run through October the 6th, and they have performances on Thursday nights through Saturday at 7:30 and on Sundays at, I believe, 3 p.m. Now, given the interest overwhelming interest in Ken Burns' current CBS series, it might surprise some diehard country fans to learn that Dolly Parton, the mega talented singer and composer, had actually penned an original Broadway score of her own music. But indeed, she did back in 2009, 9 to 5, the musical bout on Broadway. And it was also, of course, based on the 1980 film in which she starred opposite Lily Tomlin and Jane Fonda. This is a musical directed by Gary Rucker at Rivertown Theater's Performing Arts. It's the regional premiere. It has not really played here before. So those of you who love Dolly Parton's music or just really want to have a good time, this show is really packaged with very charming songs. Video components are also accompanying. I'm not going to give too much away on that, but it brings back much of the charm of the original Broadway production. Megan Harms is absolutely terrific as Violet. She's dancing her way, most especially in her big number, One of the Boys, in which she envisions she becomes a CEO. Emily Bagwell channels Dolly Parton perfectly as Dorothy Rhodes. This is a number that may be actually her first big breakout because she's actually finishing her studies at UNO, and she's been doing terrific in other productions. And Megan Kessel, who's a basic I guess you might say music talent. She's a legitimate music director. She possesses a lovely voice. She plays newcomer Judy Burnley, and she gets her, if you will, comeuppance song in Get Out and Stay Out, in which she actually gives it to her abusive husband who's abandoned her. Meanwhile, Chrissy Bowen also plays the sycophant and, if you will, the office manager and would-be love interest of Franklin R. Hart Jr. That, of course, is the sleazy office manager, if you will, CEO of Ken Good Jr. He is also a chauvinist. He's misogynistic. He has designs on Dora Lee, which he professes in the song "Here for You." It's a wonderful sleazy portrayal, but Ken Good is very good in this role as well. Great choreography by Franny Rosenberg and music direction by Frank Van Hoven, who, by the way, also has a small part in the musical as well. Again, one of the, I guess, shortfallings, if I would say about this, is that the book, written by Patricia Resnick, I would have loved to have seen it updated, even though it was in 2009. I would have liked to have seen it updated, as they did with another era film from 1982, Tootsie, the Broadway show that bowed this year. Really made it into a musical, and they really, took some of the same things that they had in 1982 and updated. And I thought it was really much better. This is a very good production, though, and you could call it a little bit country and a little bit Broadway. All right. Now, 2 previews for upcoming shows. The Rocky Horror show is going to be opening next Thursday at JPAS in West Wego. Don't forget that. And that's always fun in time for October and Halloween, of course. And in 2 weeks, it's time for the British farce Noises Off. That's going to be at Le Petit. And, of course, I'm looking forward to that. That's on October the 4th. It's opening and play all the month of October till the 20th. Okay.
All right. And Alan, I know we both saw the Downton Abbey movie and enjoyed it very much.
Yeah, between Ken Burns this week and Downton Abbey, we've got PBS on our minds.
Absolutely. And now it's time for our picks. Banu.
Well, I'm actually doing a show at the Mint on October the 2nd at 2 o'clock for an hour. David Boatinghouse, one of your favorite musicians, will be playing piano, and Ray Moore.
And you're singing and performing.
And I'm back doing my old gig, which is performing.
Very good, thank you. And Poppy.
Well, now we've had fried chicken and we've had boiled crabs, and it's just time to drink a beer. So also tomorrow, 10th annual NOLA on Tap Beer Fest, noon till 7 p.m. It's at City Park's Festival Grounds. General admission's $5. You can get a sampler pass, 35 beers for $30. There are well over 200 beers to sample in total, and your dog is welcome too because it all benefits the SPCA.
Okay, thank you. Tracee.
Nice. So we're going to talk fashion this week, of course. So on Wednesday at Degas House, New Orleans Fashion Week will host Orleans and Orleans. And so we're excited to have a designer come in from Orleans, France.
Oh.
Please come out and enjoy a French connection.
All right, thank you, Alan.
Well, fresh off the success with the Mahler Symphony No. 5 and the Beethoven Piano Concerto No. 5 from the LPO, they're going to be doing Harry's Wondrous World, and I'm trying to mention this again because we want to get the kids out. All of the music of Harry Potter at Roussel Hall at Loyola University on Sunday, September the 29th, and I believe the children 15 and under are free.
All right, very good. Thank you, Alan. And before we go to my picks, so sorry to learn of the passing of journalist, author Cokie Roberts. In 2015, I had the honor of interviewing her at Ben Franklin High School to discuss her Capital Dames book that had just been published. And even though she is no longer lived here in New Orleans, she visited her hometown quite often and supported many worthy causes. Of course, the list of her accomplishments is long, but among her favorite projects were the books that she wrote on First Ladies and the Women of Washington. Talk about missed. Whew. What a wonderful, elegant lady. And now it's time for my picks. The free 10th annual Salon de Jeanne d'Arc conference takes place tomorrow, September 21st, from 9:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. at Tulane University's Waldenberg Arts Center. The event will focus on the Middle Ages and talk about the crew of Joan of Arc and other local events focusing on the Middle Ages, and of course talk about Joan. For a full schedule, go to joanofarcparade.org. Don't forget, WYES has another event, WYES Mimosas and Masterpiece, pole dark screening of the first episode of the new season. That's tomorrow here at WYES from 10 to noon, right here at our station located in Lakeview at 916 Navarre Avenue. Guests will enjoy mimosas and such goodies as croissants and bagels and other great stuff. Tickets are just $20 and can be purchased at wyes.org/events. You can also just show up. And the Poulenc Trio and Alex Fitterstein are performing twice next week. First, a house concert on Monday, and that's at 1680 Robert Street, starting at 6:30 p.m. Then on Tuesday, they'll be performing the composer Viet Kung's Explain Yourself. The performance will begin at 7:30 p.m. at Tulane University Sixon Hall. This will be the world premiere of Kung's new composition. Go to friendsofmusic.org to purchase your tickets. And the Le Coeur Creole, or the Creole Heart album and book release, takes place next Thursday at the New Orleans Jazz Museum on Esplanade Avenue at 6:30 by Bruce Sunpai Barnes and Rachel Brunlin. It features original Creole music, translations, essays, and artwork that tells the story of the language's origins and influence on Louisiana's culture. And Hancock Whitney's Love in the Garden fundraiser for NOMA takes place next Friday, and that is at the Sidney and Walda Bestoff Sculpture Garden. This year's honorees are the Bestoffs themselves. The annual fall soiree will feature dining and dancing. Tickets start at $75. Go to noma.org to purchase your tickets. Thank you all so very much. We're quite eclectic tonight and having lots of fun. And thank you for watching. Good night.
This program is sponsored in part by the Eugenie and Joseph Jones Family Foundation, a local foundation proud to support the arts and culture in the greater New Orleans area. Support for Steppin Out comes in part from the Kristovich family in honor of Mary Lou and Bill Kristovich.